Hello, how are you? We have another evening of CPL. Today we are going to be actually this weekend, not just today, we're going to be kind of taking a look at just a bunch of different weeks throughout the season. There's no, the last few casts I did the weeks leading up to the finals, but now I'm just going to kind of do just snippets throughout the season. So we're just going to over the weekend, we're going to cover weeks of 2, 3, 4, and 6. And obviously, we'll just scatter them out as we go. So there's no real rhyme or reason. The teams that we're going to feature, I tried to feature as much of the we're definitely going to feature some of the finalist teams. There's going to definitely be some shift click in there, definitely going to be some barcode in there. So yeah, we're definitely going to feature a few of those guys, but we're also going to feature just some other teams as well. So that's kind of like the overview of what we're going to do this weekend, beginning with tonight. Today, to kick it off, I totally forgot the team name, the teams we're going to start off with, so I'm going to go re-upload my replay. So this is FlashCoin Wales versus Team Name Didn't Make is what we're going to feature tonight, and this is from week 6. And first up, it's TVT. It is Solaerran versus I don't know how to pronounce this name. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, so I'm gonna pronounce it as beta, because it's spelled, to me, it's spelled very similar to a politician with the same first name. So that's my point of reference. Anyway, please correct me if I'm mispronouncing these names. So we're gonna do Solaerran versus Beta, a TVT, and here we go. All right. Okay, so there we go. We have team colors. All right. In the top right, on our first map of the evening, it is Butter. We have our Red Terran Solaerran. And in the bottom right, our Blue Terran Beta, also playing on Butter. That would be a trick, playing on 2 different maps at the same time in the same game. All right. So I presume that it's a pretty typical thing to build your, at least that I've seen anyway, to build your racks a little bit more forward. So I presume we're going to get kind of a more forward racks, but you never know. Okay, so Blue Terran is opting to instead just kind of keep it relatively close to the chest. Meanwhile, the Red Terran Solaerran is opting for kind of a semi-wall-in. You can definitely get units in through here. And, whoops, sorry. I'm still getting used to my my controls here. Probably can get some units in through here as well, like maybe Marines and stuff. But yeah, trying to do like a semi-wall in here, and also the forward racks. We do have our normal scouts coming out. And Blue Terran is pulling 2 off gas for, I'm presuming, a factory. And meanwhile, Solaerran is still holding down the gas. And it's pretty quiet. We do have another SCV scout just kind of coming in here, trying to see what's going on. Nice to get a scout in here like this. Always, you know, if you're uncomfortable, you can get as much intel as possible. That's good. So, I likes to see it. And we just have a bunch of SCV shenanigans all over the map in general. So Beta is just kind of doing a typical kind of just doing a typical like factory expand. And now that he's got his Marines out, he's sending his barracks up to scout. And presumably repositioning his factory as well. So, nothing unusual. There is a slight difference in workers right now, like a small worker lead for the Blue Terran, but actually, that small worker lead is going to get bigger once this CC finishes here. So I feel like Solaerran's kind of under some pressure to expand himself. Otherwise, he's going to get really far behind. Armory going down for the Red Terran. We have 2 factory with add-on. And Vulture Speed being upgraded, I presume Mines. Yep, Mines is starting as well. And Siege Mode on the way for the Blue Terran. So you know, this is kind of a weird power struggle early on this matchup when you go Vulture. There's a similar power struggle in PvP when you do Zealot versus Zealot, 2-gate Zealot versus 2-gate Zealot. Like you get this, like you need to do, if you're gonna open Vulture like this, you need to invest some in Vultures early on and do kind of this mini Vulture arms race. But there's also kind of another timing to consider, which is when you start to get your tanks out and your siege mode. Basically, the way I've seen the power play kind of work is that once Terran gets siege tanks with siege mode, the interactions very much favor the Terran with the siege tanks versus the Terran with the Vultures. But before then, more Vultures wins. So, we do have, okay, so it looks like we have a Goliath kind of shooing away this barracks here. So, before then, there does seem to be this, before the siege tanks come out, there does seem to be this weird timing of when do I transition into tanks that I often see. And usually the player who gets tanks first has the advantage, usually. Obviously, if an engagement goes sideways, that changes things. But Protoss versus Protoss is very similar when you do 2-gate versus 2-gate, in that there's kind of a zealot arms race, and there's another weird mini timing of when the hell do I transition into goons, and usually whoever transitions into goons first has the advantage. It's a very similar power exchange, power dynamic, whatever you want to call it. A very similar power play between the two army compositions. So that all said, I think Beta electing to get 4 siege tanks with siege mode right away is great. I think it's great and it's different. And as far as I can tell, I think he did this. I think he just did he just did like a siege fast expand. So very interesting. I don't normally see tank first games like this when I cast TBT. I normally see Vulture Wars, so I like seeing something different. So Solaerran does finally have the second base up, but he's very far behind in workers right now. This is like almost a 20 worker lead. So just as his his natural is being taken, we have a third almost done here for Beta. So not a lot of unit count on the field, a couple tanks and some Goliath, but this is a very scary army composition. 4 tanks is nothing to scoff at. This is terrifying, especially with siege mode. So I really like the composition choice here from the Blue Terran. And we've been on 2 factory with double add-on, and we're now adding a third. So I also he lost his barracks. Okay, that makes sense. And we do have 4 factory coming here for the Red Terran. I do want to see more of these blinking. Like, Solaerran's kind of already really behind in workers as it is, so like the more we have mining, the better. Plus, when we're building off of 4 factory and we're trying to mix tanks in, we need more mining. So I do I do want to see more SCVs building out of the Red Terran here for sure. And have a kind of a soft contain here. Like, I can so we have the siege tanks on the high ground here, and we have some tanks deployed here, but we're not quite yet ready. At least it doesn't seem like we're quite yet confident enough to contain the Terran. But we could theoretically start doing a contain outside the base. I mean, especially once we have a couple tanks on this high ground securing it. So, all that said, some vultures were able to get out and kind of sneak out and killing some SCVs here. You know what? Every SCV that Solaerran can take out is great for him. But yeah, we have. I like the production idea, but we just don't have a whole lot mining. Meanwhile, the Blue Terran, we're continuing to expand and build factories. We have 5 already up and producing, and a 6th is almost halfway done. So very soon, I feel like with a 2 factory. Oh, a double starport. That's interesting. With a 2 factory lead, I feel like we're going to start to see some overwhelming macro out of Blue Terran. Not a lot of tanks here. So, I mean, even though, you know, Blue is taking some fire and did lose a couple tanks, there just wasn't very much here at the red side. Yeah, so very nice. Just nice execution. I feel like the delay. You know, this could have maybe been the trigger. Maybe could have been pulled a little bit sooner, but I do like to see the decisiveness here. So, very well done here. Finally, the tanks are getting on top of the production. So yeah, this looks. I mean, there's nothing else. You know, we don't have another base here. We're just now losing factories. This does look over to me. We have no army. Yep. GG. Oh, crap. Hold on, guys. Oh, that's so embarrassing. I am so sorry. Okay. All right. We're going to recast that. I am so sorry, guys. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. All right. We're doing over. We're doing over. I'm casting that one over again. I don't care if I know what happens. That's uncalled for. Okay. Oh, that was. Oh my gosh. Well, that's a. Well, I certainly am tier 3. Making all the tier 3 mistakes tonight. That's for sure. Okay. Oh, that was funny. I didn't have the replay blocker on. That was what the issue was. Oh, that was bad. Okay. That's all right. That's right. You're right. We'll just well, now that I notice, we'll go in and fix it real quick. Okay. That's so funny. All right. All right, so we're going to go in and put the replay blocker on. That's funny. I'm very tempted to recast it anyway, just because this is gonna go on the CPL YouTube. It's gonna be there for a long time. Okay. Let's also put take off pillar box as well. Okay. There we go. All right. Beautiful. Okay. All right. All right. I got the replay blocker on now. We're good. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's go back to the chat screen and there. Okay, cool. So now we're ready to go. Okay. All right, we'll Oh man. Okay. All right. Where are we? All right, we are in game 2. Game 2. Okay, guys. You know what? Let's just leave it out there. Let's just move on and leave it out there. Why not? I've done all kinds of flubs that I've let out there. Let's just go with it. All right. I agree. I am totally looking forward to the King of the Tiers tournament. I wish more tier 3s would sign up, but it's kind of early, you know, especially for US people. It's kind of early. So, I get it, but I still wish there'd be more tier 3s. Okay. Map 2, we are going on to Dominator. I mean, sorry, Deja Vu. Again, the 4-player, pretty standard. Does have kind of the closer third than Fighting Spirit, but it does have the general 12-base layout of Fighting Spirit. Has that nice open middle. Relatively open. There is some high, it is a high ground middle. There are ramps to go up and down, so you do have to worry about that if someone's camping up here, but otherwise, you know, pretty open. All right, here we go. All right. In the bottom right, our red Terran, it is Solaerran. And in the bottom left, our blue Terran, it is Beta. Champion, Crimson Joe, Mini Renak, thank you so much for stopping by the chat and hanging out, supporting the fellow league mates. Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to the KOTT next week. Really looking forward to it. Solaerran once again trying to wall a little bit here. Oh, yeah. I like this. Going a little... I don't like the angle, though. I like the idea of going a little further, but I don't like the angle. I like the way the blue SUV approached this scouting position a little bit better. Once again, going for a two-factory opener versus a, I believe... Oh, is this a vulture opening? Okay. I thought that was that, I thought it was another tank opening. Love the fast CC timing. And this looks like a TVP. This looks like just a factory FE to me with a vulture first. So I like I do like it when players kind of blend in the different matchups. You know, like in this case, kind of doing a Terran versus Protoss build and a Terran versus Terran. I kind of like blending. I like it when players blend the matchups like that. It's cool to watch and see. Yeah, I feel like with Solaerran, we need to continually produce workers, and I think this is where hotkeys become tremendously important, because it's much easier to constantly produce workers if you have your CCs on hotkeys, right? It's just much easier to do it. So, and that's like one of the most important things to keep going at this stage of the game. Not constantly. I mean, you know, if you built nothing but workers for 15 minutes, you would lose. But but certainly at this stage of the game, like, it needs to constantly be going. So yeah, I'm already seeing kind of a 13 worker deficit from the Red Terran. We don't have a CC, so the blue does have that advantage, but this is not blinking. So definitely, you know. Although I do like the mines. I like the vultures and I like the mines, and I like how we're kind of spotting like the third, and we kind of have some mines here along the attack path. I mean, obviously a vulture isn't gonna do anything, but tanks will attract mines. So we did a slightly different opening, but we did the same overall mid-game concept. So this one we did kind of this vulture first factory expand, but then after the vulture we basically just started building tanks and have just been building factories and tanks. So we're now up to 2 factory with add-on, 3 factory total, versus 2 factory with add-on that aren't building anything. And we have a nice healthy SCV count. We're at like 45 SCVs total, very healthy economy. Should be adding in even more factories, I would imagine, pretty shortly. And we already have a nice macro engine going. So I really like the economy here for the Blue Terran. I like the mine spread here for the Red Terran. I really like the mine spread and kind of getting the vultures out. And I like that we're adding factories. And we have Goliaths. But we don't really have a lot of tanks. Like, we shouldn't stop building tanks at 3. Especially like when our opponent is, you know... I mean, generally, your opponents in this game are getting more production, getting lots of production buildings, and getting a nice death ball. So we never want to like stop. So I feel like we have too few tanks here, is what I'm trying to say, and we don't have enough macro out of the Red Terran right now, and. This push, I say that, this push is coming right across the map at a fairly reasonable time. It's almost 10 minutes, right? I mean, we've been factory expanding and macroing, and we're almost 10 minutes into the game. Almost at 100 supply, and we're just, this is about when like it's not an unreasonable time to push out at this point. So, if you're playing just a solid macro game, so this is not an unreasonable push by any means, and I think it just looking at how few numbers we have, it's just, yeah. I think this is just going to steamroll this base here. Starting our third command center for the Blue Terran. And we're going up to, we've been macroing pretty steady out of 3 factories, going up to 4 factories. Also building, oh cool, building dropships. Got, I guess we have +1 done. Yeah, so we have +1 weapons done, +1 armor on the way, plus cloak. And oh, sorry, that's for the red Terran. We have cloak. And yeah, so for the blue Terran, we just have armor and just a bunch of stuff. Pretty simple stuff, just tanks and vultures. And lots of supply. And we have some drop ships, so it looks like we're going to be going for some drop play. But you know what? We don't really need to do that. Like, we can do that because it's fun, but this army right here will probably just totally... Okay, well now we have some more tanks coming up here. So the more tanks we have on defense, the harder it is for this to be broken. But, you know, yeah. We have pretty much double supply right now for the blue Terran. 130 supply versus 67 supply. And of that, the worker advantage is only 19. So there's a substantial army, sizable army here for the blue Terran that, yeah. Whenever they decide to pull the trigger is you know, that's basically game. Unfortunately. Third base, third command center coming down. Yeah, still want to see more SCV production out of these two command centers. I like that our factories are kind of blinking. So looking for another angle. Looks like he's going to try and just attack the third. And with so few tanks, he can literally just attack it head on in tank mode. Okay, so we did have a drop here on the production. And we're also sending a small force to take out this third. And we have a giant army just waiting. Well, not giant anymore, but we had a giant army just waiting there. Very, I like the multi-angled attack here. Dropping on the production and taking out the third. And another drop on the production. And GG. All right. So just very I liked the tactical concepts there from Beta, from the blue Terran. And Beta takes it 2-0. All right. Going into the next series of the night. Kayan versus Zel Uneec, a ZVT. Back on home to Butter. All right. So Butter's a pretty simple. It's a pretty simple map conceptually, but it does just have a few other extra elements added in for fun, longer game options. You know, conceptually, it's a 2-player map with. By the way, these choke points don't have ramps; they're flat choke points, and it's just got a very straight, direct path to the natural. Right? It's a very. I mean, obviously, it's not all flat, right? There's high ground here and high ground here, and you know, there's another like kind of way around here, but generally for doing like kind of quick rush tactics, this is a pretty straightforward map. It does have some, I mean, obviously there's natural third here, there's a base here, but it does have some extra interesting kind of ninja base options on the left side of the map as well. Both this base and this base can be sealed off and just be a completely isolated base where you only need air units to get into, or, you know, lots of siege tanks. And so, you know, some really good ninja base options. This one is kind of tucked away a little bit, like around, it's kind of tucked away behind all this like pathing here. So yeah, just some really good hidden base opportunities as well on this map. But otherwise a pretty straightforward, direct 2-player map. Not at all what was that map? Blitz, not at all different conceptually from Blitz, again, where it has that direct path to the bases. So very different in terms of how narrow the path is and executing large army attacks on the different paths, but you know, the basic pathing concept is similar. Anyway, into the game. All right. In the top right on Butter, it is our blue Terran, Zel Uneec. And in the bottom right, it is the red Zerg, KN37. Zel Uneec is a player who has gotten much better over the past, I would say. I mean, I think I was first introduced to him like a couple CPL seasons ago, and he has just gotten substantially better. So I'm very curious to see how this series is going to play out. Also, some very cool kind of mid-game strats I've seen out of Zel Uneec. Very cool tactical ideas I've seen out of Zel Uneec. So always up for a Zel Uneec game. So going for the Terrans, going for that kind of that forward racks at the choke point, at or near the choke point, that I've seen is very common. And KN37 opting for a hatch first build. So really just getting that eco advantage up. Great way to start if you want to do either lurkers or mutas. both units are quite effective in this matchup. Zel Uneec going right into a factory. Was this misrallied? I'm not sure if I'm gonna. Is this a mech build? I mean, this is a really fast factory for this for TVZ. We gonna see vultures? Oh my goodness. Forlings are up. KN opting to kind of get a safe forlings and macro. Got this first sunken colony going down. And of course Zel getting vultures. I like to see it. The patented Zel Uneec tactical plays. And behind that, we're also expanding. Oh, nice. Nice job. Nice scout off. Totally seeds the lair. There's no second gas yet, but that doesn't mean that there isn't going to be one very quickly here. It doesn't necessarily mean there's not going to be one very shortly. Yeah, so there's a spire on the way. So I am expecting to see a second gas at the natural start. Start very soon. So he doesn't see a third base at either location, so he knows it's a 2-hatch play, but there it is. There's the second gas. But I don't know if he's detected that it's mutas yet. And they're gonna start probably, like, they're gonna start being made probably around the 6-minute mark, I would say, at the rate this is building. So they're gonna start very shortly here. We do have an engineering bay on the way, so we can build turrets. We do need to start them like now if we're gonna build them. But otherwise, yeah. I don't know how we're gonna defend these mutas. And +1 is on the way for the mutalisks as well. Now we do have tanks on the way. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think they just started the turrets. Is it just one turret? Oh my gosh. I feel like we should have... I don't know. I feel like we built something here too early. And we didn't have our turrets up in time. Probably could have been a factory, actually. I think what turrets are, what, like 75 minerals? So, KN-37 just coming in here and destroying this base. I think we could have maybe gone without one or two factories and gone with a bunch of turrets instead. I think. I'm not sure. This is a matchup I'm still learning, but I think that's what we could have done differently. Oh man, what a hard loss to... Look at that! 17 workers, and none of them are in the main, and all of the turrets are being sniped. Oh my gosh, this is such a hard pill to swallow. Ten mutas remaining. Wow. Oh my gosh, this is so painful. Oh nice, we have Goliaths out. The other alternative would be to get Goliaths sooner. Yeah. Yeah, either we either needed to get Goliath sooner or get turrets sooner. But I don't know if we could have done both at the same time, which I think is what was being attempted. Good try. Good try. Mutas are a pain in the neck if the person knows what they're doing. Back on to Deja Vu. All right. In the top right on Deja Vu, it is the red Zerg, KN-37. And in the top left, it is the blue Terran, Zel Uneec. Pull in for my buddy Zel. That was a tough game. I think it's either needed to tech in, if we were trying to go for Goliaths, either needed to tech into the armory and get Goliath started before going up to 4 factory, or delay the factory count and get turrets up quicker. One or the other. This is a close spawn, which this is the spawn with, I believe, the closest rush distance in this map. So I believe, obviously cross spawn rush distance is the longest. I think the next longest in close spawn is the vertical rush distance, but I think this one's actually shorter. I might be wrong, but I'm concerned this is shorter, which is great for Zerg. If you are playing against Zerg as either Protoss or Terran and you are this close to the opponent's base, you should be nervous. I believe that was an 11 hatch. No, that was a 12 hatch. There's, yeah, 12, 11, 10. I think if see again, I'm kind of learning the Terran builds. I think another thing that we probably could have done better last game as well is we probably could have scouted better with the Vulture. Instead of scouting just the third base locations and not getting more information, we probably could have scouted to see if there's at least a second gas on 2 base. I don't know. I don't remember if we got far enough into the main base to see if there was a spire or not, but I feel like maybe last game the Vulture scouting could have been slightly better as well. So going into another gas right away. This time we're going into 2 gas before layer is done, which is kind of what you want to be able to spot. And I think he does just spot it. And Spire is of course on the way. So he should be suspicious, and he should be going for Armory, I would guess. Yeah. The problem is, I don't know if we're going to have enough Goliaths out in time to defend this. Because Terran buildings take forever and a day and a week to make. Oh my god. The entire time you're playing Terran, you're sitting there macroing and building stuff, waiting for your stuff to finish. Like, oh my gosh, are you done yet? So we have Spire done. The first round of Mutas are done. The first Goliath is being built. I don't know why we're building a tank, but we have a tank and we have Goliaths. So this is better. Yeah, this is and I mean, if you're gonna build the engineering bay and try and do it all, at least, you know, prioritize it after you've started the Goliath. So I like the way this build was executed this game. I like it a lot better. See, now when these things come to our base, we're gonna have a few Goliaths to be able to fight them, and at least to fight them hopefully long enough before the turret gets finished. You know, so conceptually, this is a much better executed build here from Zel Uneec. So I'm very happy to see the better execution. Oh my gosh, is it gonna finish? Oh, one finished. Yeah, this is, oh. Gotta build the turret, build the turret. Oh, Everything hinges on it. Repair it. This is so tense. Much better defense though. That was not nearly as terrifying this game. So I like the defense here. Could maybe start... Well, no, we can't really because we don't have much money, but... Maybe trying to find another angle. Maybe trying to come down here, maybe hit the production. The thing is that we need a turret at our production somewhere. That's like kind of a normal placement. I mean, we do have a turret here, so that's good. But it's pretty typical to have your production protected as well. I like the turret ring around the main. That's nice. Yeah, nope. There no room for mutas in this house. So this play is, I mean, you know, we still have a third hatchery down. You know, we're going up to layer. We have a fourth hatchery being built. So Zel Uneec has definitely survived the early game. So I just want to, I feel like that is something, that is just a huge, just in one game's difference, that's a huge improvement in execution. So I love seeing stuff like that. So kudos in just the better early game. You know, but Zerg, oh, did we scan? Oh, I hope we scanned the main. Zerg is, however, moving their build along into the mid game, or rather kind of more into the late game. And so, you know, Terran's not out of the woods yet, but yeah, so I like to see that we're adding more factories and we're starting to mix in some tanks as well. I'm not sure what the play is from here. I mean, maybe it's Ultralisk because he's upgrading Carapace. So maybe he's going to go in, maybe Kayan's going to go into an Ultralisk cavern. And go for the armor. Yep. All right. I'm figuring this out. I'm figuring it out. Yeah, for how little I know Terran, I know Zerg even less. So yeah, I am totally figuring out the play here. We have a nice we have a nice little push coming out. You know, there's definitely enough Goliaths here that I don't think he has to worry about the mutas. And there's enough tanks here that if he can mow down these Zerglings, he can bust this. This is terrifying. So which is, ooh, we have another hatchery out here we can macro from. Nice job mixing in the two units. I don't think the mutas are... Well, they might survive with all the lings there. Yeah, we're going to have to pull the Goliaths back. The tanks are dead. We're going to need to... Oh, no. They're going to get overrun. No, they're going to all get overrun. No. The hero tank. Edmund Duke himself. No, I'm just kidding. All right. This is a lot of lings to counterattack. This might end the game. This is a lot of units. Between this and the mutas, this is a lot. And we don't have... Yeah, I think we started re-macroing back at home a little too late. I mean, I don't know, maybe we can fend this off. We do have siege tanks, they do have siege mode. We have... Oh, nice job holding the ramp. Trying to keep the lings at bay from coming up the ramp. Nice job. Oh my gosh, I love this hold. I mean, at this point, we could just flood... Oh my gosh, once the Ultralists get there, it's game over. Look at that. Oh, 2 armor. This is going to suck. Well, this is going to suck for the Terran, I should say. Great. Great for the Zerg. This feels great. GG. All right. Yeah, once the Ultras get there, it's over for sure. Tanks can't hold any of that. That was incredible. That... I thought the game was going to be over, but the way he just totally held that ramp long enough to get a few more volleys off with the siege tanks, that was great. Oh my gosh. Great great control there from Zel Uneec. Uh, 2-0 for KN37, the Zerg player, but that second game, that's a Zel Uneec game I love to see. All right. Finally, we have TVP CoffeeFlux versus ingRadic. I have not heard of either of these players, so very excited to see this series. Okay. And before we get started, I gotta double check my Discord. I heard it go off and make sure I'm not missing anything important. Doesn't look like it. All right. All right, here we go. Okay. Sorry about that. In the top right on butter, it is our red Terran ingRadic. And in the bottom right, as our blue Protoss, CoffeeFlux. Sounds like a PC, a PC case, a PC tower. All right. Shimmer, thank you for stopping by the chat today and for supporting fellow league mates in CPL. This is a wild scout path. Is he trying to hide a proxy gate or something? What is this? This is weird. Oh my gosh, yes, he's got to come here and proxy, I bet. Watch. No, he's not. So we've got 2 zealots. What build is this? What am I watching? Okay. It looks like, I mean, Terran's just doing normal Terran things, just factory expanding. I have no idea what I'm watching from the Protoss right now. Okay, so, okay. We need a gas. I feel like we needed this gas. If we're going to try and do some sort of a 2 Zealot Dragoon opening, I think we needed to start the first Zealot, build the gas, then queue the second Zealot, then queue the core, or something like that. I feel like this, or just do a Zealot core Zealot. You know. So, Zealot, gas, core, second Zealot would also work. So the scouting probe does get taken out by 3 Marines. I'm not sure the best way I'm not sure what the best way to optimize this build is, but I feel like it could be fine-tuned a little bit. We still have more zealots coming in. The thing is that these are not bad units this early in the game. Now, once tanks start coming out, these zealots, I mean, you know, I feel like once tanks start coming out, the zealots are going to be definitely not good. And if Radic is any good at microing his vultures, or microing their vultures, I should say, I should be fair. I'm making presumptions that I don't know. So, depending on how good Radic is at microing their vultures, you know, they could just like kite the zealots for eons as well. So that's just something to think about, you know, going forward. But I like that, you know, now we're going, this is more normal, right? Just building 2 gates and 3 gates and building goons. Probably want to start range if we haven't started it yet, which, yeah, okay. And we have a Stargate coming up as well. This is also kind of different. So, but I like the unit comp now. We have 2 goons, and we're hopefully macroing goons out of 3 gates. So, this is a little bit better. But as you can see, the Terran is already kind of on the map, laying mines. And now, I will say this. I think Zealots can tank mine shots better than I like how I like how zealots absorb mines. Particularly like if I'm trying to get a giant goon army across, I like that zealots can absorb some of the mine shots for the goons. So I don't dislike zealot versus mine personally. And I like that we're now kind of getting our macro engine going, and we started our nexus. So we're just kind of macroing and just building, which is not a bad way to start learning Protoss, by the way. It's in StarCraft, it's better to have a lot of bad units than a little good units. It's a numbers game, right? More is better. So having having some macro engine going and starting off in that route isn't bad, but of course we want to be building out of these as much as we can. Like what I mean by that is like example for Protoss, right? A carrier is a good unit. A Reaver with shuttle is a good unit. But it's better to have 50 goons than it is to have like 10 goons and a shuttle and a Reaver. Right. So, for example. So just more is better. So, that in mind, we definitely want to keep this macro, keeping the macro going, the pro production going, and the goon production going. Keeping that up is a good skill. It's a good starting point. I'm not sure why we built a Stargate, but it looks like we're building observers, which is nice. I think maybe we're trying to do some sort of a Stargate build where we're getting either carriers or arbiters. But if that's the case, I feel like the Stargate could have been built a little bit later. Oh, Corsairs. I like seeing Corsairs. Corsairs in a PvT, I'm down for. Particularly once we start getting into disruption web and stuff. I'm down for this. So now going up to 6 gates. Oh, that's a bummer. Would have much rather had a zealot there. I'm not sure what the Corsair is going to do apart from maybe scout Terran's base because they have no anti-air. That's what I would do with it at this point. I like the word. Oh man. No, we need to prioritize the tanks if we're going to get on top of them like that. But the Marines, yeah, no, that's unfortunate. It's okay. We have 6 gates and we're building goons. We have 5 more probes. We definitely have more production than the Terran has. So, we're not. Although we have very bad supply in this position. With us way too many units there. Um, I would honestly look at. I like the concepts here. For CoffeeFlux, I would definitely look at Master Ray's macro tutorial. Easily the best tutorial on how to macro well. So I would definitely look at Master Ray's macro tutorial because this fits very well with his style of coaching in that tutorial, where we're not really doing a specific build, we're just making things. And we're just trying to make a lot of things. So I would definitely look at that. But as far as builds go, I really feel like, you know what, a good starting point with Protoss, even today, is still 2-gate observer. If you don't like, if there's any Protoss build you learn, 2-gate observer is a good starting point, as long as you mix range in. As long as you don't skip range and you go for the you get range and you go for the later CC. The layer Nexus. The 2-gate observer is still a good build to start with. So that's another point I would look at. And with that, you can go to Day 9. Day 9's Let's Learn Starcraft series has the basic classic 2-gate observer. Both of those are good starting points. Terran is playing I can't really offer the Terran any tips, because the Terran is just playing a nice kind of methodical game at this point. Maybe a little too many Marines, but you know, at this level, it's like 6 of one, half dozen of another kind of a thing. But yeah, this is just an excellent play from Terran. Started off up here, kind of just held this high ground, killed off all the goons, and has just been very progressively moving forward with the contain, with the mines and the vultures. So pretty much, yeah, this is a good call on the GG. Pretty much when the Terran is doing this, if you don't have any way to deal with it, it's basically over. So good game one. I like the different approaches. Radic, I definitely think just nice execution. But yeah, I liked watching the different approaches to this. All right. Back on to Deja Vu. It's like we've been here before. Okay. I would say definitely also work on worker splitting, particularly for Terran, because the Terran command structure is a circle. You know, the Terran has, you know, like if the Terran like split to like here, 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 and here, like that would all be pretty good for worker split, right? Or even the way they did it, where they got these three and then this was also pretty good. But Protoss, the way the command structure is shaped, the most optimal pathing is this corner and this corner. So with your early split, you really want to try and get like, with your first 5 probes specifically, like I find it's most optimal where you get this patch, this patch, this patch, this patch, and this patch. When you get those 5, you basically have 5 probes going a straight shot like this to the corners. So Protoss definitely, it would benefit to learn how to split at this point. Since we're already kind of learning how to macro, I think learning how to split and getting better at that sooner than later, particularly with this race, is important. Just with the way the command structures are shaped and how that affects the pathing of the probes, splitting with Protoss is an important skill. But I like that we're getting our gateway, we're getting our gas. Definitely, I would go like 1 zealot. Yeah, I would go 1 zealot, and then wait 200 minerals and build the core, and then build the second zealot. This is how I would do it. I feel like that basic zealot, core zealot is it's a good way to go. If you're going to go 2 zealots and you still want to get your goons out in a reasonable time. Another one is also zealot core, where that's another 2 zealot variant where you build 2 zealot, 1 zealot, 1 zealot, and then after the second zealot you start the core. So that's another way to go. If you want to maybe be a little bit more aggressive. So in this case, because we started the second zealot, then we do the core. And you want to build the core at 200 minerals. As close to that as you can manage in your build. So that's another kind of thing to keep in mind. So this is slightly conceptually the ideas are there conceptually, but execution wise this is slightly misoptimized. So just something to keep in mind going forward. Although, yeah, me personally, I like Zealot Core Zealot better because I'm getting my goons out at a reasonable time. For me, Zealot Core, the delay is a little much, but you can go either way. If you're trying to build 2 Zealots first and then move on with your build from there. So for the Terran, we have... again, just kind of building a lot of bio early on. Now, this isn't a bad idea to mix in some bio with some vultures. But just conceptually, that's not a bad idea. Ideally, if you're mixing this much bio with mech, you're going to want to do some sort of an aggressive push. You're going to want to do something like an FD push or a strong 2-fact. Sorry, a strong FD or a 2-fact push. Where you're getting like, a strong FD, you're getting like 8 Marines, and I think I've seen as much as like 5 Marines with a 2-factory push. So, and with those pushes, you're moving out and you're hitting the Protoss right about now. So that either of those builds, either of those early game TVP strategies would be particularly devastating this game because it's 6 minutes into the game and the Protoss has not much. So and at the time those would have hit, like the Protoss would have had at like 3 Zealots and that's it. So I would say that for this rank, for this level of tier, for Radic, I would definitely focus more on like timing attack builds, like FD pushes and 2-fact pushes. I swear, I've cast so many tier 3 games that this season that there's Terrans that make it look so easy. It looks so easy. Just build like a couple factories and a siege tank and some marines and push, and it looks so easy. And it's not that simple unit comp is so hard to defend. Protosses actually have to practice really hard at defending that. So yeah, I would definitely go for like FD pushes and 2-fact pushes for sure if I were Radic. Just, you know, moving forward, I would look into either of those strategies. They're very effective, and you start to explore the Terran timing attack thing. You know, I mean, Artosis has said that Terran is a timing attack race, so you know you'll definitely get introduced to that with either of those strategies. Marine Medic is also another way to go. But that one, I think that one's a little bit more advanced. I would definitely go with more of like the 1 factory FD and the two factory pushes with like the 3 or 5 tank variant. Yeah, either of those, with either of those builds, you would have hit the Protoss 3 minutes ago, and they would have had like 3 Zealots and maybe 1 or 2 Dragoons, if that. So, but this is that all that said, I'm just kind of, you know, like I'm kind of looking at the concepts of both players, and I'm kind of like tailoring my suggestions to the concepts that I'm seeing. That said, even if you're not doing a timing attack push, conceptually this is good, right? We have some bio, we have some vultures, we have some mines, we have a couple tanks. We could probably siege them if we wanted to, but if not, that's okay. They're just as terrifying in tank mode. You know, we're on the other side of the map, you know, and now we're adding in more factories and more tanks, right? We're on 3 factories now. I think ideally would like to see it go up to like 5 and 7. But conceptually, this is not a bad army composition. And this is also not bad positioning either. So even though we're not being super aggressive and pushing and ending the game at like 5-6 minutes, the concepts with the unit composition are there. So I want to point that out, that like I think Radic is off to a good start. And I think that the macro concepts of CoffeeFlux, excuse me, are you know, I think this game the macro is not there. But last game the macro concepts were not a bad place to start either. So both players respectively, I think that you know, you could definitely see these are definitely like newer players, but they're both off to good starts for their respective races. This is cut. Yeah. So I like that we're moving forward a little bit. There's plenty of goons here that like you don't want to rush in, but yo, set up a tank line right here and spread them out a little bit and watch these goons melt. No joke. goons with tanks at a distance, goons will just melt. So I feel like the tank line could maybe move up a little bit. You know, like, you know, you could probably reposition these tanks, like have some here, 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 you know, so on here. Going up to, again, 6 gates. 6 gates is a good number. At 11 minutes in the game, ideally you want to see something more like 8 gateways or 10 gateways, or heck, even 12 gateways. You know, you probably want to see like 12 gateways starting, ideally, around now, or finishing around now. So, you know, this is a good start, though, especially if you're macroing and just producing. And fine. Okay, so we are moving the tank line forward a little bit. So now you're going to see these goons just melt, because they can't fight tanks at a distance. They have to. Goons have to get right on top of tanks to do anything to them. So, you know, put stuff in their way, and they'll just die. And I like how methodical this is. So finally, these goons are down. And now we can literally just move all this forward. You know, we can literally set up shop right here at the choke point, and there's nothing for us to do. But you know, it takes a few. GG, nice job. So yeah, with CoffeeFlux, particularly in game 2, I didn't notice it. I think it was probably there in game 1, but it didn't stand out to me as much in game 1. In game 2, definitely you want your neck side blinking, particularly in the first like 9 minutes of the game. You want your neck side to always be blinking in the first 9 minutes, definitely. And you want to constantly be building out of your gateways. And the trick with macro is that you want to move forward with your build after you've started your production cycle. Right. So production cycle comes first, and then like moving forward with the build, like adding another gateway or adding a tech building, or you know, and so on. But that is conceptually you want to check off your production first. Anyway, good game. I like them both. I definitely feel like these are newer players, but I feel like both of them conceptually are at good spots. There needs to be a little bit of fine tuning here and there. But conceptually, I think both players are off to a good start. I think with the Protoss, particularly with that, with that game plan, macro, like constantly building probes and building stuff out of your gateways, you have to do that if you're going to go with that game plan, for sure. All right. So nice job, 2-0 from the Terran there. So excellent, and we're done with our first series of the night. We're moving on to our first bracket of the night. We're moving on to